Tom, first of all, can I ask you, from a player's perspective, it's always sad, isn't it, when a manager loses his job, and somebody that you've been heavily involved with for the past sort of quite a long period of time now.
Yeah, you have a lot of empathy when someone loses a job. There was a lot of noise and a lot of things going on, but we saw day to day how hard the manager worked, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. And so that's sad, and you do feel for someone in that situation. And I suppose the thing everyone says is we've got to pick up and move forward now, and hopefully we start to pick up some results. But yeah, it's been a tough time, and you do empathise with someone in that position. And now we need to, as I just said, we need to pick up now, crack on and move forward together.
It is a footballing fact of life, isn't it? Managers lose the job, and it's tough for the players because you've been involved in the whole process that's led to it. But you can't let it linger too long. No,
you're right. At the end of the day, the lads on the pitch are the ones who have got to go win the games, and we have to take a certain amount of responsibility for that. It's not been good enough. There's been a number of factors for why it's not been, and we burden that responsibility as well. It's just, as I said, it's not nice that someone's lost a job, but as you say, ultimately that is what happens in football. So we have to sort of put that behind us now. We've had a good couple of meetings this week about things that have gone on and how we're going to go moving forward under the new manager, and yeah, we need to all sort of come together, a bit of a siege mentality now, and start picking up some points.
And you've got a really experienced man at the helm now in Nigel Atkins, who's managed for, 700 plus games, I think, and at all different levels. Have you been impressed with what he's had to say and how he's handled things?
Yeah, very much so. He's one of them who'll talk to you on a personal level, and he wants to get to know the person as well as the player. So he's come in and sort of set a few, I would say, ground rules, give us a bit of a framework, and sort of gone back to basics really, and sort of telling us how we're going to win football matches, which maybe we needed. And yeah, so we've sort of got that framework now to work on, and we've got a long trip down to Crawley, and then it's the game on Saturday. So we're going to go on there, everyone knowing the job, and go in there for 3 points.
In terms of the back to basics, what does that involve from a player's point of view?
So there's basically the organisation, the shape, how we're going to play. Basically things that you were brought up learning about football, we need to get back to that. We need to be hard to beat, we need to be a proper Tranmere team, and he's sort of got that into us this week, sort of the key things that he wants from us, and the key things about how we're going to win games. So they've been hammered home this week, and we're going to, as I say, go down to Crawley looking for the win.
Do you think things have become a little bit complicated playing wise?
I wouldn't say so. I think maybe I would never want to disrespect someone who's been in the job, and I thought the gaffer tried really hard, and he did what he thought was best. Now Nigel's come in with a fresh idea and a different way of doing things, like who's to say who's right and who's wrong. So we have to get back to trying 100% every game, being hard to play against, as I say, being a Tranmere team, and yeah, sort of giving the fans what they expect from the minimum. What they expect from us is to be competitive in every game, and that's what we're going to do moving forward.
Yeah, when I say complicated, not being critical of the indoors, it's just when you lose matches, you try and change things, and if you keep on losing, then you change more and more, don't you? But from this new outlook now, it's kind of like a fresh start almost. It has to be looked at in that manner.
Yeah, it does. There's, as you said before, there's no point letting the feeling linger that we had when the manager left. So it is a fresh start. There is a chance to put things right, and we're only 7 games into the season, so there is still a chance to do something, and we need to take one game at a time, starting Saturday, and we go down there looking for 3 points, and then then we move on from that onto the next game.
As the captain, do you feel an extra responsibility when things aren't going as well as they should be?
Yeah, of course. I'm one of them who takes it home, and I'm sure my missus would tell you if you asked her that I'm not nice to be around when we've been beat. So it's been a tough period. But then I think you need to use that to drive yourself moving forward. So I don't want that feeling this Sunday, this Monday. I want to be happy and enjoy myself. So it's down to myself and the other experienced lads to sort of galvanise everyone. And if we are feeling a bit down this week, then we need to use that in the right way to drive us forward going into Saturday. And there's enough now in that change room where we can sort of get around each other and we can all help each other through it.
Because leadership qualities in footballers, they're priceless assets to have, aren't they? And sometimes even players who've got those qualities, maybe not to the top level, but when results go awry, sometimes people start playing a little bit within themselves and maybe don't shout as loudly.
Yeah, it does happen. I think that's the main word there is confidence. I think there's different types of leaders. There's shouters and there's lads who'll do it with the ball, without the ball, and stuff like that. So we just need to get that belief back, get that confidence back that maybe we've lacked, and then you'll start to see people's personalities coming through. Now it's not the first day of pre-season, so we've got to do it sort of as a moving job. We've got to do this as we're playing and as we're training. So, but it'll happen. You've got to sort of rely on what you've learned, your experiences, to sort of bring you through. And it's been a sticky period, but then we've got enough in there to sort of pick up and then move forward together.
Do you read books on leadership, things like that, or do you look at different captains? As you say, there are those like John Terry who barks the orders out. There are others like Steven Gerrard, maybe who wasn't averse to that, but would more lead by example. There are different types of footballing captains. Which one are you? Yeah,
of course, there's different types. I've played for enough to know. I think I learnt a lot from Clarkey. He was always one of them who would do it by showing his performances and stuff like that. So I think you want to take bits from everyone that you've played under, the ones that you watch. I'm a United fan, so I remember Roy Keane when I was growing up. He was the main one, and you do sort of look at those people and idolise them and sort of want to take a bit of what they do into your game. But again, it's not something that I consciously think about. I'm not going out on the pitch thinking I'm a captain, I've got the armband. I do my job and I try and help others through that as well. So yeah, you do. As I say, Clarkey was big. I loved playing with Clarkey. I loved the way he held himself around the training ground and how hard he worked. And so you take those little things from him and people like that and try and add them to your game.
With Clark, it's how hard he works. He's still at it, isn't he?
He is. I spoke to him last week, and he's still going. He plays very local to me now at Warrington Town. So, yeah, he was a proper pro and someone that did drive the standards here. And yeah, I think maybe as a collective now, that's something that we can aspire to. Someone maybe not. We've not got that figurehead in the thing anymore. But as a team, they're the kind of people that you aspire to.
Has Nigel Atkins had a word with you sort of in private away from the group because you're the captain and does he want you to do things in a different way, or is he sort of offered new instructions?
No, like me and Nigel have spoke. As I'm sure he said that he'll speak to everyone. We had a good chat on Tuesday and it's one of those things where I know my job. I feel like I'm doing my job and it's one of them where everyone else has a job to do as well. So as a team, this is not about me. This is not about an individual. This is about a team now. We have to come together and make sure that we all move forward together. And you know, we're just the sum of our parts, and we're going to improve. We're going to get better, and then when we do, we'll start to see improvement in results.
Because there are good players here, and plenty of them.
There are, and I think that can get lost in the midst of a bad time at the minute. We have got a couple of injuries. Hopefully they'll be back soon, and then you've sort of got a competitive squad who's going to go and win matches in League Two. Confidence is low, but it's something that we've spoke about, and there shouldn't really be a reason for that. We're a good team, as you say. Well, we've got good players, and we can be a good team. So it's coming, and hopefully, as I say, if everyone does their job, we'll be flying in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's always only one result that changes things.
Yeah, it is. I think Nigel's put in that we need to win the next game. That's the one. The most important game's the next game. So for us, that's Crawley on Saturday. You pick up a win there, and everything changes, as you say. The landscape changes. So that's what we're going to do. That's where the focus is now. And yeah, it's all eyes on Saturday.